Stacie in right now, so we can see her singing
Let
along.
me love in a holy, holy way.
Hey, Stacie, how you doing?
I'm wonderful, Ricky. Woo!
Hey, oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me
Oh, let me
love
love.
in a holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. I just hope everybody's in. I don't see. Oh, yeah, they're coming in. All right. Oh, they're loading in now. I'm going like, oh, Sue, what's going on? Yeah, come on and show yourself in the room so we know who you are, okay? I got a few people who say, well, it wouldn't be politically correct for them to be on the thread. I was like, Joe Biden don't care that you're looking at so fulfilling. You better come on into the room. Hey, Sharon. Yeah, so they're coming on into the room. This song says it all. Let me love in a holy way. In a holy, holy way.
Hey, Chef Lori.
Oh, Chef Lori's in. Who's that right there? Oh, Charlotte, Sister C. Farrell. Hey, Sister Charlotte. Oh, it's so good to see you. I love this woman. I haven't seen her in so long. Oh my God, her grandsons used to come to the original Kuumba Saturday schools. So she's an OG, you know, and has been around for many years in my life. So Sister C, welcome to the thread. Yes. I don't know, the comments showing up. I wonder, let me see. Hopefully I don't mess up. I'm going to try to do this. Hey, there we go. Oh, I did. I hit the right button. Yes. This looks a little interesting, but I'm going to tell you why I'm wearing it. I'm wearing this beautiful necklace, which is gorgeous. And it was handmade. Isn't that beautiful, Stacie?
Yes.
Stacie Aamon Yeldell, who is in, oh, Georgia's bringing me some tea. Thank you, Georgia.
Georgia.
I didn't even ask, and I sure wanted to, but I'm so glad she did. Say hello, Georgia. Hey, now. Thank you, Georgia. I love you. I love you, too. You're the best. I'm so thankful. Thankful for my life. Oran, my girl. Oran is on, Georgia. If that's the Oran, I think maybe it's not that Oran. He said, my girl. I think he's talking about, you know, Oran, Stacie?
No, I think he was talking about Georgia.
I think he's talking about Georgia. We know if this is Oran from childhood, you know, we love Oran. That's Beverly Freeman's son. So welcome everybody to Soul Fulfilling. As you can tell, we are buzzing already because I'm in the presence of a beautiful being who just makes the room better. I mean, her presence just does. I can never, ever recall Stacie Aamon Yeldell coming into a room and the whole climate not being better. You know, she is a good person and a radiant light of God that has, yeah, she looked just like that picture, don't she? I took a picture like when I was your age.
Maybe 10 years ago, that was me.
Oh no, you look the same. You just flip that hair up, baby. It's the same thing. You know, the one I had my hair the hairdresser had wired it and twirled it, and everything was sticking out. And I was I was like that, and there was like a rose and a glass of wine that I don't even drink wine, and I'm looking like that. I was like, that ain't got nothing to do with music. Headshots. Headshots. So how you doing, Stacie?
I am so happy and excited to be here with you. I've been looking forward to this all day.
Hey, great.
I'm just so grateful to be here.
Well, welcome. I want to tell you a little bit about Stacie for those of you who don't know. I see that Sister C says she's going to be in LA from December 20th to January 3rd. I hope you come on, drop back into the B Hood and have, some good old inspiration with us. Stacie is no stranger to the B Hood Sunday devotional. She drops in from time to time. And when she comes, we are spoiled. We are spoiled happy.
As am I.
Well, yeah, with her presence, because she's that person. She's that kind of light. So come on into the room, everybody. Everybody's coming in good tonight. You must have told them to come on in, Stacie. They're coming in a little earlier. Kimberly,
Oh, wonderful.
we got Kimberly Lovelace on with us. Lisa Michelle Talamentes is in with us. Meg Tahar, Maxine. Hi, Maxine William Boiseau, my dear friend. Carlton Tebow. Hey, Carlton. John De La Paz. And who else is that? We got Marion Lewis is on with us. And Sharon, and Marion and Sharon were some of the first, and Chef Lori jumped into the room. So we're thankful for everybody who's coming on in. Just come on in and get your tea, get ready for a delicious conversation. Mardell is here. Hey, she says, I remember Stacie being in the choir.
Hey, Mardell.
Yes, she was. So she still goes over there and help them out every now and then. But she is so much more than a singer. And if she were only a singer, that would be enough. If her heart were in it, and it was fulfilling. But apparently, Stacie's road was to take her beyond the stage of performance into the community for the healing work. And Stacie, I believe that when an artist gets called that way, it's a holy alignment. Because I think that really that's the real gift that's the real point of our gift, is for that it would be a beneficial presence, that it will help people in their lives. And sometimes you hear folks say, well, she's a singer, but they never really define what that means. A singer is many times a healer. A singer, you think about Nikki Harris. Nikki Harris is it doesn't have some of the creds that you have after your name, which is very, very impressive. Yet when she sings, she's absolutely helping people in their heart space, in their mind. She's helping to recalibrate, and that's why that sound healing, that what happens when a vibration comes through, it's divine. And you are a person who sings amazingly, and then there's a song, and then along came John. It's like, and then you get down. So can I read what I have to say about you?
Sure.
I say Stacie Aamon Yeldell is a delightful spark of grace who appears as a sound healer, vocal psychotherapist, facilitator, and incredible singer-songwriter who uses music in therapy throughout various communities. She has treated thousands of individuals in dozens of institutions, hospitals, and treatment centers. And tonight she comes into the most happening midweek boutique meetup where love breaks out all over. Soul fulfilling songs and conversations with Miss Stacie is sure to leave you feeling more encouraged to bring your best to the world. So without any further ado, let's put our hands together for Stacie Aamon Yeldell.
Woo! Thank you for that warm intro. Oh my goodness, thank you.
Yeah, well, I've been reading about you, and the more I read, the more inspired I become. The more inspired, because your journey has been rich, Stacie. It's been rich. And so tell me, how did you come about music therapy? What inspired you to get on to get on the road to a formal study of music therapy? We all do it our kind of way. None of us has the same journey, right. And we're not meant to be the same people. We are here as the incredible lights of God. And the way you show up in the world is the way Stacie shows up. So tell us about Stacie. So how did it happen? How did it happen, Stacie?
Well, when you said earlier that when an artist is called that way, like I got this total vibration in my body because no one's ever said that. No one's ever validated that for me because I got to music therapy with a broken heart. Near death and a broken heart is how I got to music therapy. I had my first record deal when I was 16, and I was one of those teenagers that had, rap posters on my wall. I was inviting rappers to my eighth grade parties because I did not see any separation between myself and being famous. So I had latched on to that idea at a very young age, and it didn't take long because I was on track by the age of 16. And then I had my first failed record deal at 16, and I was not a singer back then.
You had your first. You had your first what?
First failed record deal.
Failed.
Meaning I almost got the deal, and then it fell through.
Okay, I got you.
For reasons.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that happened at a very and I wasn't a singer then. I was a lyricist. I was a rapper, and but I was a part of a creative community in high school, and we all were getting record deals, and at that time it was kind of like a fame kind of a school. And previous to that, I just didn't know what was going on with me. I was very sensitive and I didn't have language for that. So thankfully by the time I got to high school, I had found a creative community that really validated a lot of my hypersensitivity and just be what it means to be a young creative and not really have that validated. So that was the first thing. And then I ran really far away from the music after that. By the time I got to college, I was trying to do the music business and I was getting internships at record companies. And by my early 20s, I had started working at Atlantic Records and had just made a decision that I wasn't going to be an artist because it hurt to be an artist. So I said, okay, let me do this other thing. And then, of course, it doesn't leave you alone. So
no, it don't.
You can't just walk away, right? So, soon after I graduated from college, I met a gentleman who, basically introduced me to a pretty high profile producer at the time. This was about 23 years ago. And, I said, well, I'm just going to write songs. I'm still not going to be an artist. I'm going to write. So he said, well, okay, let's get you with this producer to write. And so I write the songs and I go in to do the scratch vocals. And the producer's like,
what?
Wait a minute. Like, you got something going on.
Right. Do you know Naila Porter's story?
No, I don't know. I know Naila Porter. She's amazing, but I don't know her story.
Well, it's there's a part of her story that's very similar to what you're saying, that she was working at a record company, I forget the company she was working at, and they were doing they were recording a record. She went on to sing some scratch vocals, and they would go like, "What?" No, she went on to sing some background vocals, and they would go like, what?" Wait. Who was that? And she became, her voice is on the she's the Summertime in the LBC.
Oh my gosh. No, I did not know that.
That's her.
Oh, mind blown.
She said, "Hey, Georgia." She goes like, "Whoa, mind blown."
Like the emojis.
That's Naila Porter.
What?
What's the name of the group, Georgia? Dove Shack.
Oh, wow.
Dove Shack. And they're doing, and she does Summertime in the LBC, and she's gorgeous, just like you, but this was like 30 years ago, right?
I remember that song,
and she's dancing. That's, if you look at the video, that's Naila Porter.
I'm gonna go on YouTube right after this, after we get off there.
But check it out. I'm gonna go on and look for you, because the thing is, it's like you were working at the record company, same thing, And she's a lawyer, but she was just taking a break from law. It's like you took a break from rapping and
Mm-hmm.
just the music and everything, just because it was just not, it was disappointing.
Yeah.
And then you end up, okay, so continue with your story. I just couldn't resist
No,
jumping in.
I love that parallel. And it was shocking for me because I came from the school of Tina Marie. So I was a secret singer.
Uh-huh.
So I sang my secret songs in my room, and because I wasn't a soprano, ain't never been a soprano, still ain't a soprano. So back when
Thank
I was
God.
young, well, I had hierarchy back then. I used to think again, I was from the school of all them high singers. So I
Singing,
thought because
oh,
I
listen,
couldn't sing high,
holding that note forever.
oh yeah. I mean, trying to sing with Tina Marie's records in my bedroom, like trying to get,
Tina Marie.
trying to get up there, And so, and there was there's one song I could sing by her was Casanova Brown. That to this day, like
That's
I can
Nova Brown.
still sing Casanova Brown. So I had this idea. I had BS in my way. I had a belief system
Mm-hmm.
that singing high meant that I could, and because I didn't sing high, that meant I couldn't sing. So I was stunned when this producer was moved by my voice, and he started to talk to me about tone and timbre and
Mm-hmm.
texture and how it was unique. And I always enjoyed singing, but I just didn't think that I could because I didn't sound like the people who I grew up listening to for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
was the first time someone had validated that. So the train started moving again. I got another record deal offer, started recording a project with this big producer, and then right when I was right at the steps, getting
Right.
ready to put the
And
keys,
it didn't
it,
go.
it just go kaboom again, right? Just blows up all over again. But this time it took me out. It took me
Yeah.
out
I hear
because
you.
I just did not have,
I hear you.
and I mean, I found out much later
Mm-hmm.
once I got into grad school. That's the next part of the story because I got a therapist because I needed one. And
Ah.
I found out why it hit me so hard. And it was pretty
Mm-hmm.
much because my whole identity was wrapped up into being this famous singer. So when it didn't work out again, it,
Mm-hmm.
it basically spiraled me into the depths of the darkest nights that went
Mm-hmm.
on for years. And I almost didn't make it through out of that time. Of course, we
Mm-hmm.
know I was destined to, but it
Mm-hmm.
took me that deep and that dark. And I needed to do something. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go to engineering school so I can at least make sure that no
Engineering
other
school.
producer,
I,
yeah,
I,
audio engineering.
I just want to say you talk fast. So
I do talk fast.
every now and then I'll say the word just in case they didn't get it.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Come on in the
So I
room,
went
y'all.
to audio engineering school
Okay.
because I said to
Wow.
myself, well, if I can at least learn how to work the equipment, produce my
Mm-hmm.
own songs, I
Mm-hmm.
think what I was after was autonomy. I was trying to find a way to not be hurt by the business. So
Yes.
when I was in that space, I asked an acoustics teacher, why does music make me feel the way that I do?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I get away from it? Why can't why can't I get this hold off of me? And he was a mathematician. He wasn't a sound healer, right? But he was an acoustician. And he said to me, you have to ask a music therapist. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him, what's that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's
Mm-hmm.
a music therapist?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the beginning of me, seeking out that path.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in New York City, and there was an NYU had a master's program, and I
Mm-hmm.
went and auditioned. I thought it was going to be like Juilliard, where you have to play
Mm-hmm.
beautifully, but no, they wanted me to play what indifference sounds like. They were like, "What does indifference sound like?" They wanted me to express emotions through music, and as a classically trained musician, as a kid, I played cello, read music, performance based. I had never experienced an audition that like that where
Wait a
it was
minute. So
about
you guys hear this? She's so phenomenally talented that it's we'd have to have two shows to really get all of the stuff that Stacie knows how to do. She plays cello. You played cello at the time and you
I
studied.
played cello when I was 7, and
Mhm,
read music throughout. It's
mhm.
interesting because I had the cello happening at the same time as I had a hip hop career. And if it had been now,
Ooh.
somebody would have told me, why don't you put those two things together?
Yeah,
But back then it was so polarized
Yeah, yeah.
that I kind of lived a double life.
Yeah, that's okay though. It's about to come together now. So you're in NYU, and you happen into the music therapy program.
Yep. And so I did the audition. It was not like Juilliard. It was more about this other experiencing of music. And it compelled me because
Hmm.
what I was looking for was a reason of why I was in so much pain.
Hmm. Hmm.
Why does this thing that's supposed to be my dream continually causing me excruciating pain and
Hmm.
wanting to die because it's not working?
Yeah.
And
Did
I
you
had to I had to figure.
when did you get that um the story we believe about the purpose of our art is a failed story that we adopted from programming.
Mm,
You know, it's a failed story. It's not a real
yes.
story. It's just something that we were programmed to want. I mean, your story is not original.
No, it's not.
Your story is my story. It's the same, you
Hmm.
know, the different, a whole lot of your story is very, very similar to my story. And uh, you happened on into graduate school to get into the music therapy program, and began to open up at the top and see that there's so many ways that God could use your beautiful talent to serve.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so keep on going. So now you're at NYU, but when you said cellist, I was like, oh Lord, this girl got she playing everything. Keep on going, baby. You're doing good. So we're at NYU now in graduate school.
So I got into this program, and little did I know that the program was there for me to basically begin to heal what Julia Cameron, the author, has coined is creative injury.
Hmm.
So I had been creatively injured. And what Julia Cameron says is that creative injury is like basically child abuse. Artist abuse is child abuse, is
Hmm.
what she says. So that was definitely my story. I had to get to that wounded inner child. And because I was so unwell in that program, I was very
Hmm.
unwell. I wound up getting a therapist while I was there, and she was actually a music therapist who had a big Broadway, background, who had pioneered this modality called vocal psychotherapy,
Hmm.
which was her as a vocal teacher realizing when she would teach her students that they would start to cry or they would have these emotional like outpourings as they were singing. And so she
Hmm.
began to connect Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung psychology with the voice.
Hmm.
And so she worked with me and she really helped me to understand the deep trauma that I was carrying, not just
Hmm.
from the music business,
Hmm.
but like you said, from the story that was all I could ever be.
Hmm.
And if that didn't happen, then
If
I
that didn't
wasn't
happen,
worthy of living.
right?
So
Hmm.
that's what I had to get to. And let me be clear, I went down kicking and screaming. Like
Hmm.
it's been years to this very day to dismantle the hierarchy that
Hmm.
singing is still better than
Hmm.
everything else I create. So that's
Hmm.
an ongoing program. So I don't know that I've really completely dismantled that, right? That story. I've
Hmm.
done a lot of work around it, and I appreciate and have fun creating. But that was a real story for me to live in and to dismantle that. So that's what music therapy, being in the program, helped me do because even though I was learning how to be a therapist, the
Hmm.
way they were working with us was they were working with us for us to heal the creative injury. Because most of us in the program were artists who had not succeeded on the business side for
Hmm.
whatever reason, and
Hmm.
we were wounded healers,
Hmm. Hmm.
is what we
Hmm.
were.
Yeah.
So it was just a great program. And so that was the beginning of the healing, I would say.
Hmm. Yeah. When I came to Agape, uh, I was that kind of person, you know, because I was very disappointed in the industry and in the world in general. You know,
Hmm.
it was just the world just did not make sense to me, and I wanted it to make sense. And when I stepped into Agape in those days, there was so much love there, and there was so much acceptance of my talent. It was kind of like getting a record deal, it was like, but it's different. It wasn't like, there was any contract or anything like that. There was just acceptance. There was acceptance. There was love. There was appreciation for what it is that I did. And everything I played, everybody always loved. It's like my wounded child was getting good. It was feeling better. Because there was so much love and appreciation. And you said something earlier in terms of the destiny, that of course you would make it through because it was your destiny, to make it through. And I think we will all make it through eventually, whether it's this lifetime or not. It is our destiny to be in the joy, to be in the joy. But what stops us so many times is that story in our head. And Reese is on, and she sings a song, "What Kept Me Sad," was the story in my head about what I never had, what I never said, And matter of fact, I'm gonna sing a little bit, and then we're gonna get back to this conversation, because this song fits right in. It's about walking with God. What kept me sad was the story in my head, and I believe that with the work that you do now, you're going right to that. It's like, well, what's the program? What's the subliminal thought back there that's running that makes you think that you're not worthy, that you are not worthy, because you didn't achieve that.
Right.
When the scripture says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." It's like, well, my heart is pure. Why can't I see God? It's like, because you made the record company your God, fool.
Right.
Come on in the room, y'all. What kept me sad was the story in my head about what I never had, what I never said. But I can sing a song the flowers gave to me. It helps me to be strong, and it helps me to be free. Now when I'm walking with you, I'm
walking with God.
When I'm talking with you, I'm
talking with God.
When I'm praying with you, I'm praying with God. If God is all there is, come on, Stacie.
Then everything is God.
Yes, everything is God. There is a road, a journey we must take, and it starts from within, and it's just a step away. And I can sing a song the Spirit gave to me, and it helps me to be strong, and it helps me to be free. Now when I'm walking with you, come on, Stacie.
I'm walking with God.
When I'm talking with you,
I'm talking with God.
when I'm praying with you,
I'm praying with God.
if God is all there is,
everything is God.
If God is all there is, then
everything is God.
Everything is God. All that stuff you went through was necessary so that you can understand how beautiful you really are, and have that pathway open up to really feel the grace of God working in your life. At least that's what happened for me. It's like, oh my God, the songs that I began to write were healing me as much as they were healing the people that were listening to it, as much as they were healing the people that were singing them. It was just really, really awesome what music, it was a different kind of music therapy that was happening in the choir. you know,
Mm-hmm.
because it was something that was happening that was the first time like that. It was just, you know, it was a point in time for me on my journey. It's not the first time a person has had talent and directed a choir or whatever, but it's first time that they was doing what I was doing with them people. Believe it, it wasn't your regular Pentecost. She says it
Mm-hmm.
not only happens in the music industry, but in my horse world too.
Mm.
You know, Rickie Byars, I'm eternally grateful for you and your music. And Stacie, you both know how many people you have impacted. Keep
Mm.
doing what you're doing. I still play all of your CDs. Thank you, Mardell. Thank you.
Thank you, Mardell.
So now you are in. You're healing. You're talking stuff out in your classes. You're doing the work, and then what happens in the course of study in graduate school?
I mean, I think the real big change was that I shifted the gears from the fixation
Mm-hmm.
on being this, singer and this performer. But it was only the beginning because really what it was for me, it was something you said before we went on, that, making the higher power the music business.
Mm-hmm.
So what I really began to unpack in therapy was, why did I feel as though I had to perform for love?
Hey, now.
Where did that happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where all of a sudden my worthiness got tied to having to perform for it
Mm-hmm.
instead of being able to be loved simply for just being.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of when when we get to the Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail, because the cure for my bullying and for feeling ostracized and being hypersensitive and left out as a kid was to grab a mic and get on stage in junior high school.
Mm-hmm.
But it also created a neural pathway,
Mm-hmm.
right? That when I'm on stage, people like me, because guess what happened when I got on stage in junior high school? All that bullying stopped.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden it was, go Stacie, go
Mm-hmm.
Stacie.
Mm-hmm.
And so that neural pathway, I didn't even know that neuron had fired and then wired to
Mm-hmm.
create this belief that I needed to perform in order to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
So service, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually using music to facilitate someone else's process,
Mm-hmm.
which is what the school pretty much, that was the focus of going into these hospitals and these treatment centers where there are people who do not feel connected to their own creativity,
Mm-hmm.
who say they're not musical, and how to utilize songwriting and song lyrics and music improvisation and
Mm-hmm.
vocalizations
Mm-hmm.
to
Heal.
facilitate, to heal, to,
Mm-hmm.
to wake up, to
Mm-hmm.
help another person to remember
Mm-hmm.
God.
Hey, isn't that beautiful when you get to that place when it's about that,
Hmm.
and I gotta say from the gate with writing for the choir, it was that.
Oh yeah.
It was never for any kind of self glory. It was always for God. We were you were so close, you know, uh, but you needed more. It's just like you needed to step through that door, and when you do step through the door, and you see, wow, this is an endless blessing. This is the
Hmm.
blessing. This is the gift that keeps on giving, because that's what service does. That's what
Exactly.
sharing our gifts with the world means. It doesn't mean being on the Ed Sullivan Show, and that's before your time. But a lot of people on this thread remember the Ed Sullivan Show. But it's way more than being on the Ed Sullivan Show. It's way more than quantifying uh, success by numbers, by how
Hmm.
many. It's like, no, that person was healed. That
Yep.
person found themselves, that person, and it becomes like, what, that person. And then sometimes, even now, I know there are people on the thread who might be part of big organizations, and sometimes the fascination with big gets in,
Hmm.
because I've seen it. I've been around big people. I don't mean fat people, or large in mass people. I'm seeing some folks get there, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, I've been around people who've achieved monumental things in the world program of success, the worldly definition of success, and touche, God bless them. God bless all of them. But if one thinks that one's got to be that big to make a difference in community, that's where there's a disconnect.
Yes.
Because it's like, hey, that starfish story where it says, it's like, I used to hate people that tell the starfish story, but that starfish story is one of my favorite stories, where the guy's on the beach. The starfish stories, Stacie?
I don't know if I know this one.
Well, this guy has, he's on the ocean, and these starfish are being washed up on the shore, and every time they wash up, he throws it back in the ocean, and somebody comes, and he's just been doing that all day. They wash up and he throws it back in, and so somebody comes by and says, why you throwing those starfish back in like that? Said they're going to be, it doesn't, you can't save all the starfish. He said that, he says you can't make a difference to what's going to happen. He says, I can make it. It makes a difference to that one. He says, well, it makes a difference to this one. And he threw it back, it's like, I can't save them all, but I'm saving this one, and we might can't serve, sometimes you get a destiny where it is huge, where you are Oprah, but you might be, or whoever, you might be Mary Morrissey or Bob Proctor or TD Jakes or, it's just so many people that are huge in the media, and then you got people that you'll never know, like Miss Anita Stroud, the little woman that said, Rickie, you can sing. Say, y'all sound good, baby. Sing louder. And the little 3-year-old Rickie was like, I got the joy down here in my heart. Because it was that, because that is life. Because that is life. And when you can pray for somebody and help somebody navigate through, you might not be the one that's out front, but you are that face of God that is healing and that is showing the way to somebody's. I want to speak on Reese, who's here, who is also a therapist. She's not a music therapist by definition, but she does sing in different places, and her voice does those things. That kind of healing stuff.
Oh yes, I know Reese's voice. Powerful.
So let's talk about a mantra. So because like maybe your story comes on into a mantra, and because you guys, Stacie has been using music therapy for years. She looked like a baby, but this girl is a woman. She ain't no, she been doing it for a while, and it says you treated thousands of people. So how are you treating them, Stacie? What are you doing?
So for the past 18 years,
18 years.
18 years.
You look like you 20 years old, girl.
That story I told you about NYU in grad school, that was in like 2003, I believe, that journey began. So it's been that long, and one of my favorite quotes is that the locust, God will give you back the years that the locust has eaten.
Yes.
Because I did get to reconnect to my artist self after that program, and I recorded an album, and that's where I became a singer-songwriter, because I had done the work enough work at least to get back to the artist in a new way. So I reconnected with my artist self, and that's what took me to Brazil. And, going there was a next level of healing, because the immersion in another culture, learning another language, singing in another language, the passion, the lack of, politics, the way the American music industry, so that was a big part of what happened as well, was growing and, becoming healed in that sense too, in that country. So coming back from there, I moved to Los Angeles. And so Los Angeles happened, I guess, 2011. And once I got here, then I began to do more work entrepreneurially. Like instead of just working in hospitals and treatment centers, I really began to build programs out in like Malibu. I would do music therapy programs in treatment centers. A lot of work with substance abuse and recovery. I did a lot of work with that here, and that's in my own history as my own family struggled with that. So a mantra of the company is really something I created to house all of the programs and curriculum that were born from, I guess, 18 years of facilitating and writing and,
Mm-hmm.
creating workshops and all kinds of things that I had. The rehabs in Malibu were kind of like stand-up comedy. You can't come in there with the same stuff week after week. So I was constantly having to create new programs and new themes and new, activities. And so it wound up being this curriculum. And then to be very honest, I started to burn out as a therapist. Like, I don't think that that's something that maybe some people can do the whole time, but it starts to wear after a while when you think of 18 years. So I think the other part of this is how can I take all of this clinical knowledge that I've amassed and that I've created and really bring it into a system that can be utilized by everyone, not
Mm-hmm.
just people who are in hospitals. And those places are high end. Some people can't get to those places. And that always bothered me that I
Mm-hmm.
was always treating just some people who can get there, you
Yeah.
know? So the mantra of the company was really born as a vehicle
Mm-hmm.
to bring forth services to the masses. Um,
Yeah.
but really from curriculum that was born in acute settings, born from people who are really, really in the depths of humanity, of their human experience.
Well, tell us about the ACE mindfulness method and how you came about it, that
Oh,
method.
that's a fun story. So, sometimes our story, and maybe all the time our story paves the way. Because I was a keynote presenter at an organization called Young Arts, an organization I wish I had known about when I was a young artist.
Mm-hmm.
They're Miami based and they create programs for young artists, 10 disciplines of creative arts,
Mm-hmm.
photography, design, singing, dancing, everything. So they realized that they needed a mindfulness program. They needed to address mental health
Mm-hmm.
within this space.
Mm-hmm.
So because my story and my keynote was what I kind of shared here about that creative injury, they thought that maybe it could be a good fit. So what I suggested was that I build a program for this team and for the actual organization, but also for the artists. Like
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of self-care for artists.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of self-care for everyone,
For everybody. Yeah.
right? But it's something felt very special about creating a program of a mental health mindfulness program that young high school creatives would use.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that could be a way to prevent some of the things that I went through at that
Mm-hmm.
age.
Mm-hmm.
So ACE, which by the way is you know available for everyone at this moment. Normally it's something that is charged, but it's something that I'm opening up for
It's
everyone.
free therapy.
So ACE is a three-part thing. It's very simple, and I think simplicity is good in this very
Mm-hmm.
complex world. So the A is assess, and that's really checking in. Where is my energy? Where am I vibrating? Am I anxious? Am I
Mm-hmm.
feeling depressed? And I wish that someone had given me that language when I was younger to understand what happens in your body and how your body talks to you when
So
you
you
are
say
under
A is for
stress.
assess. I don't
Assess.
know why I saw access when I saw the A. I didn't
Well,
see
that works
assess.
too.
I saw access.
That works too.
No, assess. So you're going to take inventory. You're going to look and see what's going
Mhm.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then the C is connect,
Mm-hmm.
because one part of my story that I haven't shared is how impactful meditation, like
Mm-hmm.
the life changing it's been for me,
Mm-hmm.
and the different kinds of meditations that I've explored. And so the type of meditation that I utilize in this program is a combination of different types of meditation, but I play guitar while I'm leading it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this kind of thing to help the mind to to settle. Good luck with that, right? But
Girl,
it
you
takes a
better
little
be
bit.
glad that I didn't know you played guitar.
Well, I ain't no David Neal, okay? I ain't no lead guitarist, but
You know what? We're not here. We're not hearing any of that anymore because we got healed of that. We got healed of all those comparative studies of
because
our gifts
compare
and
equals
talents.
despair. You're
Right.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
It's not really about that. What it's really about. I mean, with all due respect to David Neal, who was playing, I played with David Neal for many, many years, man. And
Hmm.
he's just a fabulous musician. But, you know, he does what he does, you know, and you do what you do. The
Hmm.
thing is that you're open for God to do what God does through you. And
Right.
that when we can open for God to do what God does through us, then it kind of removes that comparison thing, because that ego wants to compare. The ego wants to say you're not good enough, or the ego wants to
Hmm.
say, oh, you're all that, girl.
Right. Either one.
It's like, but God is saying, like, see how your heart feels when you get to share my
Hmm.
love,
Yes.
you know, and share from the way you are loved. Like when you sing, Stacie, you sing with such joy. It's like when you sing, I always felt like that's somebody who knows what it means to love.
Mm.
That's what I always felt. But anyway, let's get back to the ACE. Connect. Because you embody, because you do embody the vibration of the Most High. When you open your mouth, it's just like it's all of you.
Mm.
It's a gift. It's not what you gave yourself, it's what God gave you.
Mm.
And then you get all the skeletons out of the way,
That's the
or I
key.
mean, or the illusions. You get the illusions. I won't say skeleton because skeleton's a good thing, but because our bones, look, Sue, I know Sue's smiling about the skeleton because she likes that skeleton, but the skeleton is very powerful because our muscles
Hmm.
depend on it, and rest upon it, so
Absolutely.
skeleton is good, but is illusion can keep us stuck, but when you open your mouth, it's like, whoa, how
Mm.
beautiful. How beautiful is the gift that God gave you that gift.
Oh, thank you so much for that powerful validation and affirmation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So ACE, so you got assess
Hmm.
and
And
connect.
then connect, which is in the program, it's a meditation that's guided. And
Mhm.
then my favorite one is embody, because I think that's the one that's been the most challenging for me, because as I keep pulling back this curtain and these illusions around this core wound,
Mhm.
what it was for me, even outside of the music business, even when I healed a lot around that, I was still playing out this game in my relationships.
Mhm.
So I had the history of kind of codependency and always attracting the same kind of person and reliving the same thing over and over. And it was still me trying to get that external validation,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So for me, what's been transformative is having a practice where I give to myself.
Mhm.
And I don't mean just like go get my nails done, because like
Mhm.
that's for me, that doesn't do it.
Mhm.
For me, it's about really determining what are my core needs. What is it that I'm always looking for someone else to give to me that I'm not getting over and
Mhm.
over? And then how do I build practices to meet that need?
You hear what she's
And
saying, y'all?
and that single-handedly has been a game changer.
Yeah, and you have this program online because some of us need therapy, man. It's like, and she's got this. It's a beautiful process that you can go online. It helps you, and it will help those around you uh, to to really ground. And is this it? Is
So
this the
that's
ACE?
actually the workbook.
This
So
is
the
the workbook. No,
workbook,
we need the other one, Sue.
that's
Yes.
that's the workbook too. So the ACE program, you'll be able to find that when you go to the website.
Yeah, we
And
got
that
to
has
go to a
been,
mantra.
yeah,
Can we put if you go to we are a
there
mantra,
you go.
and spell her name, A is different. That's why I was confused.
It's a mouthful. It looks definitely better written down.
Well, I wanted to, I was giving you 1A, but we are a mantra.com. Write that down. We're going to leave it up for a while so that you can write it down, and then you can go and access this whole online therapy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the beginning, and it's you can find out about the ACE mindfulness method that Stacie created, that she's got the trademark on it, baby. And then and then in January you're going to launch the workbook. So tell us about the workbook.
So the workbook is also a conglomeration of a lot of the curriculum that I was talking about that I gathered in the rehabs. But what I like about the workbook is that it's really about creating daily practices. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the real big thing. Like I have definitely been um, codified, or I don't know what you want to call it, but I've definitely been schooled on the power of a daily practice. And
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
be honest, I have a very busy mind, like kind of neurotic. So I have to sit down every day and build that intimacy with
Well,
myself.
you got a creative mind. That's what you got.
I got a creative
You got,
mind that's also very busy.
but I wouldn't call it neurotic. I just think it's crazy. It's creative.
It's
You got.
creative.
Speaking of creative minds, I see Indy B is on here. She says, "Any music tonight? You got in late, girl."
All this talking.
Coming in here about any music tonight? Yeah, you missed it. But let's see. Let's see. We're going to try to do something which talks about the way the spirit moves,
Mm,
and what it does for you. The way it moves. And I love this song. And Stacie was actually there when I was working on this
oh,
song
yes.
at the meditation retreat. And hey, Mickey, Keith Leon, let me dial in here. Welcome, you guys. I see you. You've been jumping on, and Johnny Acuna. Hey, wow, Stacie. Christwell Muhammad is in the house. So John Caesar and Deanna Thomas, Ryan Nielsen, and Iabodi Jackson. So I'm so glad that everybody could join us tonight. And Ron, you really knocking me out there. You're on, and your mother. My God. Marie, hey Marie, where you been, girl? uh, we're gonna try to do a little bit of this. It was planned to do it.
It moves in a point of light, in a song of love, in a simple way. It reaches like a guiding hand in a heart that truly understands. And it heals like a salve of compassion in a complex word, in a simple way. See the girl in me, it ain't complicated. Yeah, it moves in a simple way.
It
It
moves in a simple
It moves in a
way.
It moves in a simple way. It moves in a simple way.
The story in your head got you stuck. Take a deep breath. And assess what's going on. What I do, you know what I do, Stacie? I start counting my blessings. I was like, God loves me. Because I can go to the G word. You know, in therapy, you can't always go to the G word.
That's right.
Right? You know, but I can go to the G word. It's like, I am blessed. And I got a thing with nature. And I think once we learn to take the time to be with what God has given us, what nature has given us, this universe is so beautiful. I know when I lived in New York City, everything was pavement. Everything was pavement. But do you know there was a tree that was growing right up near a fence that was so many different colors. It was so gorgeous. It looked like something straight out of California. And I'd never been to California, but I would look at that tree and go like, wow, look at that. You know? And I gave thanks for that tree. Give thanks for the little things. And that kept me going for a while. Then I got tired of looking at trees. I wanted a record deal. I wanted another record deal. So I got, but I wanted a Shaka Khan record deal. I was like, wait, what? Why not me? I love, you know. And God said, I got something special for you. Like Georgia said, one day you gonna find out. You didn't come here to be famous. You came here to heal people.
That's the truth.
Yeah, she's about 14 years old. 15. She said, oh, Mommy, one day you're gonna get that your music didn't come to make you famous. It came to heal people. It came to help people. And that's what you're doing, Stacie. You're helping people. You're helping people to get back home. Back home. So music has informed your heart. It's informed your work, your life. You know?
Everything.
So now tell us what's next. Your book is next in January, but something else. You want to share it right now, or you want to keep it under wraps?
Well, I still got my fingers crossed on that, but I have decided to to recapture my artist self and pursue some doctoral training in music.
Yes.
Because I love and I'm grateful for this journey. And I still want to give that part of myself some love. You know, there's still more to that story of me as creative performing artist.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, and thanks to you, you know, you're assisting me in that journey of, you know, recapturing that dream in this new way, in this new time, with this new awareness, without it being a hierarchy, right? It just being the next thing. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, no hierarchy. You know, I'm so glad we healed that, you know? You know, just today, somebody sent me, I received a card in the mail that was so beautiful from a couple that I know and that I love. And it used to bother me when I get their stuff in the mail because it's like, we did this year, we did that. Our kids did this, we did that. We traveled, we did this. And I go like, ugh, you know, because I felt like I didn't feel successful in my own life. You know, I felt like I was measuring myself by their joys, you know, and I didn't feel like I had it like that. I mean, not recently, this was years ago, but they've been sending these cards out for a long time. You know how Christmas time comes and people send the whole family and we did this and we did that and we got this and we got that. And you look at things, you go like, you know, especially if you know, if you wanted to have children and you got a card that comes and everybody's got kids and you don't have children, you know, it's like, you know, and it's like, no, you know, it's like I have learned to bless everybody right where they are because you don't know the price they paid along the way. You don't know what they go through on a daily basis. You're just getting a snapshot,
Mm-hmm.
that look nice on your on the mantle, but you don't know what goes into the daily of that, or their physical, or whatever it is that they got. And because everybody has their journey, got their road,
Mm-hmm.
so so now that we're here in this season where people are giving and receiving and doing all kinds of things that folks do this time of year, that we do all through the year. And that we do all the time. The artists are doing it all the time. I just give thanks that I can give thanks. I give thanks that I can appreciate
Mm-hmm.
exactly where I am,
Mm-hmm.
and all the beautiful people I get to be around. Whether it's two people singing with me, or 20,
Yes.
or 200, or 2,000. It's like, no, I went to the Democratic National Convention. Believe me, that wasn't more fulfilling than a Sunday devotional,
Mm.
you know, especially when
Yes.
you get behind the scenes and you see what's going on. I prefer the Sunday devotional.
That part.
you
That
know,
part.
and I wanted to say something about this necklace. This necklace was made by Don Manigault. Don Manigault was a dancer in Moa back in the day at Agape. She's beautiful, tall, brown skin, beautiful with these bright eyes, these hazily eyes, this big smile that took up all of her face. And then she got married and she had a child. I think her husband's name is Robert or Ronald. I can't remember. But she made her transition
Oh.
very young, very young, to be passing so soon. But she was called home. But she used to make these necklaces that were so gorgeous. She had them on the Etsy store, and that's when I found
Mm.
out about Etsy. And she had them in indigo, she had them in crimson, and she gave me this one. And I just love this necklace. And when I put it on, I think about Dawn, and
Mm.
and how beautifully she danced to the music that I composed. She danced to the songs. So here's a shout out to Moa, the movement of Agape back in the day. You guys were extraordinary. You were exquisite. And I see choir members on: Keith Leon, Anna Maria, Maxine. Oh, y'all. Hey, what's new with me? Save the date. I'm going to
Oh.
be doing the spring revival in the Blue Ridge Mountains, April 12th through the 14th. You talking about music, comedy, and healing of the highest order. We're going to have a good get down time. There'll be five different sessions. One of those sessions will actually be me in concert. So if you're on the East Coast, or like Ayana said, she's flying to be there. Ayana Stokes is coming. So y'all, you might want to come, because we're going to have a good time in the Blue Ridge Mountains. You fly into
Oh.
Asheville or Charlotte and drive there. But we'll be talking about it backstage at the DNC, right, Anna Maria? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Then we got the Regassa t-shirts. Come on with it, Sue. You got
Hey.
it going on. That's Michael Dyer, in case you didn't know who that was. He loves this t-shirt. That's the Regassa, rest in God and say amen. That's what Regassa
Mm.
means. Rest in God and say amen. Look at that. You know what I was doing all in the afternoon today? I was sending t-shirts and sweatshirts all over the country. I am having
Wow.
a good time sending these sweatshirts to you. So if you want a sweatshirt or a t-shirt, hit me up at rickiebyars@gmail.com and let me know, and I'll get it. I'll get it in the mail to you until we can get the store up and running. We're doing it like the old days. Yeah. I just love you, Anna Maria, and I love all of you who joined us tonight. Thank you, Stacie, for joining me tonight. My special guest, Stacie Aamon Yeldell. Now, Stacie, tell me about your name. Is Yeldell a married name, or is your maiden name? What's your name?
What's your name, girl? So Yeldell is actually my surname, my birth surname, and Amon is my middle name. So I just use the whole thing because honestly, Stacie always felt like a very boring name to me. So I always felt more connected to Amon, the vibration of Amon, which is why I kind of took it and put it in my company name. And then Yeldell is my father's last name, and my father, bless him. right where he's at. He's no longer on the planet. But our people are from South Carolina.
Yeah.
We're Geechee folks.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
why you talk
name,
so fast.
that's why I talk so fast. You can see how I was a rapper, right? Yeah, I was a very fast talking rapper.
Well, I was singing like wandering around, that song, wondering why, that was all. I hit the
Hmm.
glass with so much speed. And Georgia was like, I was like, I got a lot of words. She's like, that's because you're a rapper. Because you're a rapper. So I invite you guys into the Be Hood on Sunday, the Be Hood Sunday devotionals that air at 10:30 Sunday mornings. And you never know what you might find, but whatever you find, it's going to be full of joy. I invite everybody to rest in God and say amen. Rest in who it is that you truly are, who you came to be. Come on, Sue, come into the picture for a moment so we can thank you because you keep it going. This is Sue Lingle,
Thank you.
who is an amazing thing. So, Sue, what you got to say?
Well, I want to say that Stacie and I share birthdays. And I'm inspired just knowing that after hearing everything you've done.
Oh my goodness, you're on September 10th?
Yes, honey.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's fabulous.
Few years difference, but But holy cow, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
You're just out there being it, doing it. I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
she's changing the world.
That's awesome.
In Stacie's own way. And I'm going to assess, connect, and embody. Yeah. The ACE method. So check it out. She created something that's really special. So go to weareamantra.com and check her out. Check out her work, and we'll support you with your book when it launches. And we love you. And we just know that the highest and the best unfolds for you in a holy, holy way. We know this for everybody on the thread, that the highest and the best unfolds for us in a holy, holy way. We allow God to open us up and to glow us, shine us, shine through us, shine through our countenance. We are willing. What would you have me do? We are here for God, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rickie.
Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say